this evening. The first 3D built house in Guyana will be unveiled this weekend at the International Building Expo 2022. 170 low-income homes are to be built in Great Diamond. Another Facebook romance scheme operative has been charged by Suko. In the region, UVALDE school shooting reports finds systematic police failures, and internationally, Sri Lanka set for presidential election amid crisis. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Patrons at the upcoming International Building Expo will witness the printing of a house by a construction 3D printer, which is currently being assembled at the venue, the National Stadium, Providence. The event will run from July 22nd to 24th. Minister within the Ministry of Housing, Susan Rodriguez, noted that this is the first of its kind in the Caribbean. She said it also raises the bar in terms of construction technology in Guyana.
Simple process where you have the blueprint and you put that chip into the machine, and the machine automatically is programmed to print out that particular house. So that house will be constructed here, or as we say in the term now, printed, using this technology over the 3 days that the public will be here, and we will treat them, of course, to this technology, and they'll have a chance to witness it firsthand. The 600 square foot home takes 15 hours, about 15 hours to build if it's working around the clock. So we'll have to do that at intervals so that throughout the 3 days that we have the expo, people will have an opportunity to see it live.
The machine will print one of the ministry's low-income model houses measuring 600 square feet. However, human resources will be required for the installation of windows and doors, wiring, plumbing, and other fittings. Generally, the machine saves about 20 to 30% of construction costs.
The 3D technology, it is international standards. International standards in terms of the PSI of the concrete, the strength of the concrete. This technology costs a little bit more, but when you think about the overall factors, like the time saving, the cost that you will save on human resources, on labor, and so on, it balances out. And so this machine, it is my assumption that this machine will do more than just be a part of the housing sector. I anticipate we're going to have to get more of this in the country, because this particular one can print a 2-story house, but they also have machines that, when configured, can go as high as 4 stories. Can go as high as 4 stories. So they can even be involved in the expansion of the private sector, with construction of apartment buildings and hotels and so on that they can eventually get to. So they'll play a bigger role not only in the housing sector but in the construction.
Meanwhile, Todd Grimm, Chief Operations Officer of Black Buffalo, the manufacturer of the printer, added that the machine could take a pre-existing foundation and go on top of that and print a house. It can print about 1,200 square feet in about 20 to 30 hours, which would be about 3 days print. As part of its attempt to give Guyanese affordable housing alternatives, the government will shortly begin constructing 170 low-income houses in the Great Diamond. According to a statement issued by the Ministry of Housing and Water on Sunday, 17 contractors will be mobilized over the upcoming weeks. The contractors were taken to the area and shown their specific lots. They were allotted 10 units each. The contractors were also reminded of the value of effectiveness and quality. According to the government, the single flat houses would include 2 bedrooms, each with a bath and a toilet. It will increase the amount of housing availability at the ministry, helping to meet Guyanese housing demand. Currently, more than 1,200 housing units are being constructed across the regions 3, 4, 6, and 10, targeting low and moderate income families and young professionals. Some 300 units were completed and handed over to families. The remaining houses are at various stages of development and should be completed this year. Meanwhile, more than 11,000 lots have been allocated, with an additional 14,000 to be distributed by the end of the year. Speeding is a major factor that continues to claim lives on the roadways. The latest victim was 25-year-old Nicholas Lorenzo Hendricks, a businessman of charity Essequibo Coast. Reports said that during the wee hours of this morning, Hendricks was driving a motor car proceeding north along Devonshire Castle Public Road at a fast rate of speed. While negotiating a turn, Hendricks lost control and ended up in a nearby trench on the side of the road. He was picked up by public-spirited persons in an unconscious state and taken to the Saudi Public Hospital, where he was seen and examined by a doctor on duty and pronounced dead. In the vehicle at the time was a 16-year-old occupant, a male student of Charity Secondary School. The teenager received minor injuries and was treated at the Saudi hospital and sent away. Investigations are in progress. Stick around after the break. A laborer turns himself in after fatally stabbing a man at New Amsterdam, and another Facebook romance scheme operative has been charged by Supu.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. A 56-year-old man from Berbice was charged by the Special Organized Crime Unit with conspiracy to defraud on Friday. John Patrick Lewis of Lot 34 Williamsburg Village, currently in Berbice, appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court before Magistrate Leron Daly, where he pleaded not guilty to the charge and was granted bail in the sum of $50,000. Based on reports received by Suku, Louis, a carpenter, was the recipient of $146,500 sent by a female with the understanding that she would receive a money laundering certificate to clear her expensive package sent by her Facebook boyfriend. It was alleged that Louis acted as a third party for another person who befriended the victim via the Facebook connection. Louis is just one of 4 recipients to whom the victim sent money. Suku is currently looking for the others. The victim claims she sent the money to Louis after she was instructed to do so by her Facebook boyfriend, who provided her with all of Louis's personal information. She sent the money using Western Union money transfer. To date, she has never received any package and her Facebook boyfriend has since disappeared. The matter was subsequently investigated by Suku, which led to Louis being arrested and charged. He will return to court on September 2, 2022. Last week, Tuesday, Suku instituted similar charges against Javon Hines of Lot 106 Downer Street, Grove, East Bank, Demerara. The head of the Special Organized Crime Unit, Assistant Commissioner Faisal Karim Bash, is once again calling on all Guyanese to be vigilant against package delivery and romance scams. After fatally stabbing a man in New Amsterdam, a laborer handed himself over to the authorities. Esther Sobers has more details.
A 40-year-old laborer of Alexander Street, New Amsterdam, Berbice is in custody for allegedly murdering a laborer at Superbet location at Main and Kent Street, New Amsterdam on Saturday, July 16th. Dead is 36-year-old German Elias, called Deportee, of Stanleyton, New Amsterdam, Berbice. According to an eyewitness, 26-year-old construction worker Kevin Chesney, around 11:30 a.m., he was at the Superbet outlet in New Amsterdam, along with several other persons, including the now deceased German Elias. Chesney said he was placing bets when Elias left the Superbet location. Shortly after, he heard a sound as though something had hit a car and noticed Elias and the suspect in a scuffle. Elias picked up a mop stick from the road and dealt the suspect a lash, causing the mop stick to break. Chesney said he saw the suspect going into his haversack, take out a grass knife, and start swinging it in the direction of Elias, who was still attacking the suspect with the mop stick. During the commotion, Elias began holding onto his neck, after which he made a few steps and then collapsed on the roadway, with blood oozing from a wound on his neck. According to reports, the suspect rode his bicycle directly to the Central Police Station in New Amsterdam, Berbice. He made a report and turned himself in. When the police arrived on the scene, the body was examined for marks of violence, and a wound was seen on the left side of Elias, measuring about 4 inches in length. The suspect murder weapon was discovered a short distance from the crime scene. Several eyewitnesses were questioned about the incident. The body was escorted to New Amsterdam Public Hospital, where it was certified dead by a doctor after it was escorted to the Arakuma Funeral Home, awaiting a postmortem examination. The suspect remains in custody, assisting with ongoing investigations. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Police in Regional Division 2 are investigating a fatal accident at Underneming Sandpit Access Road, Essequibo Coast. Enquiries disclosed that on Sunday around 7:30 a.m., a motor pickup driven by 36-year-old Bej Narain of Perseverance, Essequibo Coast, was proceeding east on the access road. 56-year-old LANKA Moore, a resident of Underneming Sandpit, Essequibo Coast, was in the tray of the pickup. The driver alleged that upon passing a steel bar at the toll gate across Underneming Sandpit Road, he heard an impact from the rear of his vehicle. The driver said he immediately stopped the vehicle and came out and saw Lincoln Moore lying motionless in the tray, bleeding from his head. He then drove to the Saudi Public Hospital, where Moore was seen and examined by a doctor on duty and pronounced dead on arrival. The body is at the hospital's mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. The driver is presently in custody, assisting with an ongoing investigation. Don't go away after the break. Wildfires rage as parts of Europe battles record heat waves in 2022, and Sri Lanka set for presidential elections amid crisis.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold. and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly or ABS hard side material with 4-wheeled spinners and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Nearly 400 law enforcement officials rushed to a mass shooting at a UVALDE elementary school, but systematic failures created a chaotic scene that lasted more than an hour before the gunman who took 21 lives was finally confronted and killed, according to a report from investigators. Al Jazeera's Mike Hanna reports.
If there's only one thing that I can tell you is there were multiple systemic failures.
The 3 members of the bipartisan Texas House Committee held a news conference to discuss the report. It comes just a few days after this new security camera footage was released. The sounds of the children screaming are edited out, but it shows local police arriving 2 minutes after the shooting started. A few approach the classroom door, but then retreat back down the corridor after shots are fired. The report is adamant that during this time, officers at a federal or state level should have taken over control from the school police chief, Pete Arredondo, who was supposedly in charge at the school. To date, Arredondo has taken much of the blame, but Sunday's report says responsibility for the lack of action should be shared by some of the 376 law enforcement officers who had arrived, as well as their superiors at a command level.
At a minimum, there was multiple opportunities, depending on the relative training and experience of law enforcement officers, to at least ask more questions or offer their guidance to try to remedy the chaotic situation and make sure there was effective overall command. There was a lack of effective overall command that day.
The report also found the school's safety protocols fell far short. Numerous doors were left unlocked, which allowed the gunman easy access to the classrooms. In a wider context, the legislators also found that these issues were not unique to the Ross Elementary School where the shooting happened, that protocols not observed created a dangerous sense of false security.
Let me tell you, the people of UVALDE before this, they felt it couldn't happen here. They felt that. That's the false sense of security I worry about. I think some of the same systems that we found here that failed that day are across the entire state and country.
The report is dedicated to the 21 victims of the shooting and was given to family and friends at a meeting an hour before its public release. A report that drove home the tragic fact that law enforcement officials waited for some 75 minutes while gunfire continued before a group of border patrol guards defied orders on the scene and rushed in to kill the gunman. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Internationally, a summer heat wave that has triggered devastating forest fires across southwestern Europe shows no sign of abating as part of the continent gears for new temperature records early next week. Al Jazeera's Nadim Baba reports.
Firefighters across Europe are in a race against time to protect people and their homes. In France, 2 fires around the town of La Teste-de-Bouche in the southwest region of Gironde have been stabilized after having destroyed thousands of hectares of land.
We've managed to contain the fire. We're making it go where we want it to go while protecting people and their properties. Thankfully, these 2 objectives have been achieved.
Forest fire prevention teams have had to cut down trees for a fire break.
We are cutting down the trees so that if the fire arrives, there will be less combustible mass, which means a less powerful fire and a support zone for firemen to circulate better.
In Spain, dozens of fires burn across the country as temperatures push well into the mid-40s.
It's only making it more difficult to extinguish the fire. This area, which is green and cool in summer, is becoming very hot like the south. Climate change affects everyone.
The heat wave has caused hundreds of deaths, with thousands of people forced to evacuate their homes.
We are doing very badly. We are all very stressed. I live over there where the terrace is. I had to leave and come here because I felt like the helicopters were on top of me.
Some are seeking refuge in makeshift shelters.
I didn't take it too seriously. I thought they had it under control, and I was quite surprised whenever it seemed to be moving our direction, and then we were told to go. So, no, we've left a lot of stuff behind.
Others' homes have burned to the ground.
I'm hurt. My sister-in-law and my wife have a farm that has burned.
The family farm has burned, all of it.
Yes, the whole thing. It is what it is.
In Greece, a group of German firemen have arrived to support emergency teams there, with hundreds more from across Europe expected to join the fight. Much of the heat wave engulfing Europe comes from North Africa, where wildfires like this one in Morocco are also wreaking havoc. The extreme weather episodes are expected to occur more often, as scientists point the finger to climate change. Gillian Wolfe, Al Jazeera.
And finally, Sri Lanka is moving closer to finding a new president, with 4 politicians named as contenders in Wednesday's elections. But the economic crisis that sparked the resignation of the former president continues, with people struggling to buy food and fuel. Al Jazeera's Maneli Fernandez reports.
A daily battle is being fought by most Sri Lankans, the battle to make ends meet. Prices are rising so fast, many are wondering how they will feed their families.
I'm working now. The salary is not enough for us because all the things are gone up.
Prices are too high. Usually I buy 500 grams of each vegetable. Now it's just 250 grams.
Unsustainable debt, reduced tourism income and mismanagement and corruption by the government has created Sri Lanka's worst economic crisis in memory. The shortage of fuel is only adding to the misery.
It is difficult with the diesel problems. Things are more expensive because of this. There are less people shopping because many are still in fuel queues. So the vegetables don't sell and we have to throw them away.
With food so expensive, people are being forced to compromise.
The quantity has come down than what it was. So, and even the quality-wise, you buy the cheaper stuff than the expensive.
Pensioners are badly affected, with their money buying far less.
We normally don't cook at home, you see.
What we do is that we come and buy something from a restaurant and then go and take one packet of lunch and then share. You see, wife and mine. So the living of this country is very difficult.
Balancing their reducing purchasing power with the need to put nutritious meals on the table is one of the biggest challenges facing Sri Lankans amid this economic crisis. That's a fact that Prime Minister and Acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe says he's hoping to address. Speaking to an international panel on preventing global hunger and famine, he revealed the extent of the problem.
The global crisis and an internal crisis, both have come together and brought us to a level where many estimate as much as 6 million are facing malnutrition. Other reports which I have even say 7.5 million.
Wickremesinghe has admitted Sri Lanka is bankrupt. So whoever Parliament votes in as a successor to Gotabaya Rajapaksa will have to solve the country's economic crisis before it becomes a humanitarian one. Minna Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.